All right, 3, 2, 1, let's party. This is FTP Podcast number 18. The grind never stops. We just keep coming with more and more. Once you thought you were rid of us, we're back again this week. We got plenty of good stuff. NFL training camp updates. There's some injuries. Some tears are being shed for some of these injuries. Big time stuff. Stick around. I'll have all that coming up. Plus, I'm sure I'll rant about something in the next 15 or 20 minutes. You know how I normally do. All right.
This is the FTP Podcast.
All right, NFL training camps are rolling, and I'm so sick of these dress rehearsals. I love preseason football as much as the next guy. Honestly, I think I love it a lot more than a lot of people because I enjoy watching those guys that are into the roster, going to be on practice squad guys, because during the season, they really play a role. You get an injury, if you actually know what this guy is capable of, what he can do, it allows me at least to have formulate a thought and a game plan of how I would use him coming into a game if he's going to play a big role. Just my thought. All right, let's go through some rundown. We got some major injuries going on. I mean, Green Bay lost Jordy Nelson. Oh, God, I don't even know how they're going to function without him. I mean, he's a phenom. Come on now. The Panthers lost Kelvin Benjamin, torn ACL too. That's a big-time loss for them, considering he was their main receiver last season, and coming in, his sophomore season, they were saying he was looking a little bit better. He was training harder. He was ready to go, trying to outdo what he did as a rookie, which was pretty impressive. And now he's gone for the year. That's going to put a lot of pressure on the Michigan rookie Devin Funchess, who, I mean, given he's a big guy. He's, same size and build, same basic game as Kelvin Benjamin. Now the question is, can he have the same sort of rookie season that Calvin had last year? I'm not sure. I wasn't a big fan of Calvin coming out of college because, he had a lot of drop passes, and I didn't see him go up and utilize his size as much as he should have. But, to be honest, when I look at Devin Funchess, I see a almost identical version of Calvin Benjamin. I see a lot of the same problems that I saw coming out of college in him. So now my question is, can their coaching staff teach him to use his body and do the same things that made Benjamin so successful last season? Right now, my vote is yes, because he's going to be thrown to the fire. He is their guy. He's going to have to be. Their receiver core is extremely thin, so he's going to have to step up. Another Panthers player that's out, Frank Alexander, he tore his ACL as well. There's just been a rash of these ACL tears. It's hard to see this. And, but it's part of the game, even some of these guys, Jordy Nelson's was a non-contact injury. He came down on it wrong, and it was over. Steelers center Marcus Pouncey, he's going to have surgery on that left ankle. That's a big blow to that Steelers offensive line. Pouncey is an all-pro center. Great guy, opens up those running lanes for Bell, and he keeps Ben Roethlisberger clean. That's going to be a big loss until he can get back for them. Cardinals running back Chris Johnson, he's going to be out for about a week with a hamstring injury. Seriously, he just signed. You think maybe he'd stay healthy for a couple of weeks? Maybe a month? No, guess not. Roddy White, guy who, he prides himself on not missing too many games. He's injured right now with an elbow. Come on, what else can you throw at me? There's a ton of injuries going around the NFL right now. And, it's part of the game, I guess, but it really sucks when you see these guys that go out and they work so hard in the off season and then get hurt and miss the entire season here. Because really, ACL injuries are a long return process, guys. We've seen guys come back from them quickly, but normally it takes you about 2 years to get back to where you were pre-injury. It is what it is. Cris Carter's Fall Guy comment, was he wrong? Let's go. Listen to it for a second.
And just in case y'all not going to decide to do the right thing, if y'all got a crew, you got to have a fall guy in the crew. Teddy, come here, man. Teddy, come here, man. Come here, man. Come here, bro. Come here. Now, if they going to keep rolling on Teddy's bankroll, because each one of y'all in business for yourself. This right here is Teddy Bridgewater, Inc.
Incorporated.
That's him. Now, every dime that come into Teddy, all right, is going to be earned by him and this body. All right? Now, I let my homeboys know. Y'all want to keep rolling like this? then I need to know who's going to be the fall guy, who's going to be driving, because y'all not going to all do the right stuff now, all right? So I got to teach y'all how to get around all this stuff too. If you're going to have a crew, one of them fools got to know he going to jail. We'll get him out.
We'll get him out.
Now, you're from Miami now, okay? Y'all take care of each other. Yeah. Now, don't you got a guy that would take care of you and that would be out a good deal? Yeah. Okay, good. Go on, sit down.
Go on, sit down.
If you're going to have a crew, make sure you know who's going to be the fall guy, okay? I know none of y'all going to never drink, leg. I know none of y'all going to never use no drugs and everything. All y'all going to go to Bible study. I realize that, but still get you a fall guy, okay? If you're going to have a crew, make sure they understand can't nothing happen to you. Your name can't be in lights under no circumstances. All right? Y'all understand that?
You know, and no, I don't necessarily think Cris Carter is wrong. You have a right to say what you want to say. Hey, so I'm all for it. AP and Jamaal Charles. Who is the LeBron James of the NFL?
All right, now I don't know if you saw at the beginning of training camp, Jamaal Charles, running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, said that he is the LeBron James of the NFL. Staying with that same sentiment, what player are you? Who are you if he's the LeBron James of the NFL?
I'm the LeBron James, you know. I can't knock, you know, Jamaal. He's a good friend of mine. And, you know, one thing I always tell people is, you know, if you don't think that you're the best, how will you ever become the best? You know, so I can't knock him, but I definitely have to say I'm the LeBron James.
All right, thanks, LeBron.
If you want to ask me who the LeBron James of the NFL is now, okay, let's look at it this way. Now, the first thing you have to do is break down what you consider LeBron James. Do you consider LeBron James the GOAT? Do you consider him the best player on the court presently? Or do you just consider him a guy who is very instrumental to his team's success? Because to me, those are three different categories. I think right now, if I had to say the LeBron James, now this is based on my views of LeBron. I think LeBron is currently the most talented player on the basketball planet. Plain and simple. I don't think there's really too many arguments that are going to be made with players that are more talented than him. Now, that being said, I also think that he is very instrumental to his team's success, but I do not think he is the GOAT. I don't. Plain and simple. I mean, I'm still in the, you know, if you want to do the Jordan versus Kobe conversation, we can do that all day. If you want to do the Jordan, Kobe, LeBron conversation, I'm kicking LeBron out off GP just at the beginning. That's just how I am. I'm not going to have that conversation with you because I don't believe he has earned the right to be in that conversation quite yet. Not to say that he does not have a wonderful resume. I just think that those two guys, I mean, not to say that they're the only two in the conversation, but there are guys that have elevated themselves to a complete another statue. And I just haven't seen that from LeBron. So now back to football perspective of it. The LeBron, for me, I'd go with Jamaal Charles. I mean, Jamaal, you got to look at what he's done. He's been injury-free. His team has literally put their success on his shoulders week after week, year after year. If he falters, they falter. I mean, plain and simple, this guy, he tore up the Raiders single-handedly, beating them for the Chiefs one year. I mean, you can't knock what Jamaal Charles has been able to do consistently and staying healthy to do it. I think he is the LeBron James of the NFL right now. Now, that being said, let me come back to Adrian Peterson. While AP had, he had the injury, he came back like a monster. I think he is on a path to a different level. I think right now, the conversation for the greatest running backs of all time, Emmitt Smith, Jim Brown, Walter Payton. When AP hangs up his cleats, if he can continue to do the things that we know AP to do for a couple of more years, he's going to be in that conversation. Adrian Peterson. So no, I would not say Adrian Peterson is LeBron James. I'm more apt to say Adrian Peterson is Michael Jordan than anything else, just because I look at him and I see a different kind of guy. I see a different level of talent. I see a different level of focus. And then, not just like I said, I'm not taking anything away from LeBron, but I'm more ready to have the conversation of, is Adrian Peterson the greatest running back to ever put on the pads? His name is already ready to be mentioned with Eric Dickerson, with Walter Payton, with Emmitt Smith. As opposed, I think Jamaal Charles he has a wonderful body of work, but he's not at that echelon quite yet. Couple more seasons, could be. Hell, he has a good enough season this year, he's ready to go. But he just hasn't made that quite jump from, there's tier 1 and there's tier 2 and then there's tier 1B. He's above tier 2, but he's on 1B. He ain't with the Walter Paytons, with the Eric Dickersons quite yet, in my opinion. All right, we'll take a quick break, let me catch my breath, and then we'll come back and talk something.
This is the FTP Podcast.
College football season's getting ready to get wound up. It's time to talk a little Heisman. This is always heated, so let's do this preseason. We got a list of guys that, everyone's kind of talking about as possible guys that can win this thing. Let's talk J.T. Barrett, Cardale Jones, Ezekiel Elliott. All right, now that I've mentioned enough Ohio State players, Trayvon Boykin, Nick Chubb, Leonard Fournette, Derrick Henry, Deshaun Watson. I mean, these are all guys that are going to have an opportunity to go in and win a Heisman. And, if you have this conversation with 20 different people, you probably are going to get 20 different answers of who they think are going to win the Heisman at the end of the season when it's all said and done. Now, of course, your on-the-field product is very important, but what your team does is also very important. So let me go ahead and, from the list of names that I said, I'm going to narrow this list down to about 4 guys, just off the top. Let's go J.T. Barrett, Cardale Jones, Ezekiel Elliott. You see, I got 3 of them on the same team. And my last one's probably going to go ahead and be Derrick Henry. All right, so now I've got 4 guys. So it's either Alabama or Ohio State that has a Heisman Trophy winner at the end of the season, in my opinion, right now. Now I'm going to go ahead and eliminate another one because I don't think J.T. Barrett's going to win the starting quarterback job. So now it's Ezekiel Elliott, Cardale Jones, and Derrick Henry. Let me go ahead and knock one more off for you. I'm going to take Ezekiel Elliott off that list because I'm a full believer that when you win, the quarterback gets all the credit, just like when you lose, he gets all the blame. So now I'm down to 2, Cardale Jones, Derrick Henry. I'm a big Derrick Henry fan. Big guy. He rolls. And I think he's going to have to shoulder a large load for an Alabama team that's going to win some games this year because they have some question marks at the quarterback position. And I think he is a very talented running back who could easily put up some obnoxious numbers. Obnoxious. Cardale Jones. I don't think I really even need to give you a selling point on him. You saw what he did at the end of last season, leading Ohio State to a national championship after not having played the majority of the season. To come off the bench cold, to have the confidence to make some of the throws that he made in big games, not little games. These aren't regular season games. He did this on the highest level, playoff football. You got to look at this guy and say, wow. That's why you had people talking about, maybe he should just go to the NFL. I was one of them, said, go for it. Take the money and run. So now you're giving him a full year to show his stuff, to strut it, walking on the field. So that's why I'm saying it. I think it narrows down to these 2 guys. I think both of their teams are going to be successful. I think both of these players are going to have successful seasons. But for me, I think the Heisman Trophy winner, this is my selection, is Cardale Jones. I think Cardale Jones is going to do it not only with his arm, but he's going to move around. He's going to be instrumental to that team's success, and he has legs that are going to pick up some yards as well. Especially, he has a big body, so you're going to see him in a lot of those, red zone to go situations. They're going to call a quarterback draw and tell the big boy go up the gut and make him stop you. So he's going to have a number of rushing touchdowns on his hands. His numbers, I think, are going to be very instrumental to that team's success, and I don't think Ohio State is in a position to falter quite yet. I think they're definitely going to be in the playoffs, and I think they're going to have a Heisman Trophy on their a Heisman Trophy winner on their hands when this thing is all said and done at the end of the season. just my opinion. All right, now we're winding down on time. It's time for our moment in sports history. Let's rewind all the way back to 1933. First television boxing match. Archie Sexton versus Laurie Ratteri in London. Whew. All right, thanks again for listening. You know the drill. You can check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Twitter. We're FTP_tweets. On Instagram, it's From the Press Box. Facebook, From the Press Box. You know, you can find us. Pretty much just type in Google, From the Press Box. We'll pop up. Go to youtube.com/FromThePressBox. Subscribe. Watch the videos. We'll be putting up some more stuff there. As always, listen to the podcast. Tell your friends listen to the podcast. Tell everybody to listen to the podcast. Tell everybody to follow us, subscribe. You know the drill. We'll be back next week yet again.